Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. This was no ordinary coin. It was the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 2 pence, minted in the pivotal year of 1997. And for those who know its secrets, this coin is more than copper. It's a symbol of transition, an echo of a royal legacy, and a hidden treasure now worth a staggering $35 million. To understand why this seemingly simple piece of currency holds such breathtaking value, we must first journey back to the United Kingdom in the late 1990s. It was a time of cultural evolution. The world was inching closer to the new millennium, and the UK was dancing on the edge of tradition and transformation. Queen Elizabeth II, the steadfast figure of the monarchy, had already reigned for over 4 decades. Her image was not just etched in the hearts of her people, it was cast into every coin, every note, every emblem of the realm. By 1997, the British currency system had firmly embraced the decimalisation changes first introduced in 1971. But within this orderly system, there remained room for nuance. The 2 pence coin, or 2p, as commonly known, was among the most ubiquitous and utilitarian denominations in circulation. However, the 1997 version of this humble coin carries a unique fingerprint that sets it apart, not just for what it is, but for what it represented during a time of subtle change. The obverse of the coin, as with all others from the era, proudly bears the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklauf. Her image, serene and regal, is depicted wearing the George IV state diadem, the crown traditionally worn during the state opening of Parliament. This was the third portrait of the Queen to grace British coinage, used from 1985 until 1997. What makes this particular year's coin so notable is that it marked the final appearance of this portrait on the 2 pence denomination. A change was coming. Diana, Princess of Wales, had died tragically in August 1997, casting a shadow over the royal family and Britain itself. Public sentiment was shifting. The monarchy, once distant and unshaken, was now seen through a new lens. The reverse of the 1997 2 pence features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers emerging from a coronet. Beneath the feathers is a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, which translates to, I serve. This design had been standard since the coin's original release in 1971, designed by Christopher Ironside. But even within this continuity, collectors today notice something peculiar in the 1997 issue, a subtle alignment variation, a font shift so faint that most would never notice. But for the sharpest-eyed numismatists, these are golden clues. Let's dive into the minting details. In 1997, 2 pence coins were struck at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, South Wales. Most coins were produced for general circulation in copper-plated steel. However, a small number of specimens were reportedly struck in bronze, either as trial pieces or by accident during the transition. Only a few such bronze-struck 2 pence coins from 1997 have ever surfaced, and they exhibit a distinct magnetic profile that sets them apart from their steel counterparts. Adding to the allure, rumors persist of several 1997 2 pence coins with mule errors, instances where the obverse and reverse dies were mismatched during minting. These ultra-rare errors result in coins with either misaligned designs or unexpected combinations of year and die, making them numismatic unicorns. Whispers among coin dealers tell of a 1997 2p with the obverse from a different year entirely, or one bearing a proof finish accidentally released into circulation. If found, these variations could be worth millions on their OW, and as collectors began to take notice of these peculiarities, the hunt for pristine 1997 2 pence coins intensified. At first, they passed from hand to hand in the shadows, auction lots buried in estate sales, overlooked in shoeboxes full of old change. But then came the tipping point. In 2019, a high-grade 1997 2 pence with an uncirculated proof-like finish appeared at a Sotheby's auction in Geneva. Expected to sell for less than $1,000, the coin sparked a fierce bidding war among global collectors, finally hammering at a jaw-dropping $112,000. The numismatic world stood still, This sale ignited a wildfire. Every collector, from London to New York, began combing through their stash. Coin grading services reported an uptick in submissions of 2-pence coins. YouTube channels, coin forums, and numismatic blogs buzzed with speculation. Were more rare variants hiding in plain sight? The value of top-grade 1997 2-pence coins began to climb steadily. And then, as if scripted by fate, the ultimate discovery was made. In 2022, a retired railway worker in Yorkshire, rummaging through an old biscuit tin filled with coins he had saved since the 1990s, stumbled upon a particularly shiny 2-pence piece. It gleamed with an unusual hue, warmer, richer, indicating a possible bronze composition. Intrigued, he took it to a local coin shop. The dealer, sensing something extraordinary, referred it to a major grading firm. The result? A mint condition, bronze-struck, Mule-era 1997 2-pence, the only known example confirmed by multiple numismatic authorities. That coin was later sold privately to an anonymous royal memorabilia collector in Dubai for an unbelievable price, $35 million. The sales sent shockwaves through the collecting world and redefined the perceived limits of value for modern British coinage. It wasn't just a coin, it was a time capsule, a conversation piece, a legacy in metal. Why, you might ask, would anyone pay such an astronomical sum for a 2-pence coin? The answer lies in the layers of rarity, history, and emotion. This was the last year of the Maklauf portrait on the 2p, potentially struck in a discontinued alloy, bearing a minting error so rare that only one confirmed piece exists. It tied together everything collectors crave: uniqueness, condition, story, and cultural significance. It also served as a poignant reminder of an era closing and a new one beginning. Since that sale, prices for even high-grade standard 1997 2-pence coins have risen sharply. Pieces in MS-67 and MS-68 now trade hands for thousands. Collectors aren't just buying metal, they're investing in a slice of royal history. And with Queen Elizabeth II's passing in 2022, the appetite for coins bearing her image has only grown stronger. Every coin is a tribute, a memorial, a frozen moment in time. But not all treasures are found in auction houses or velvet-lined cases. Some remain in kitchen drawers, old jars, or between the cushions of an inherited sofa. And that's what makes the 1997 2-pence coin so fascinating. It could be anywhere. That glimmer in your change bowl? It might just be the next $35 million discovery. So next time you're handed a coin in change, take a closer look. Is the Queen's profile perfectly centered? Does the surface shine just a bit more than the rest? Is there a faint ring of bronze where copper-plated steel should be? In the world of rare coins, legends are born from the overlooked. And in the case of the 1997 2-pence, a simple coin once worth just a fraction of a dollar now stands among the most valuable numismatic treasures on earth. The story of the 1997 Elizabeth II 2-pence is one of coincidence, curiosity, and hidden riches. It reminds us that even the most common objects can carry extraordinary value, and that sometimes history hides in your pocket. For collectors, it's a beacon of what's possible. For historians, it's a tiny, enduring testament to the complexities of a changing Britain. And for one lucky owner, it was a $35 million miracle. Top 2. One such unassuming yet profoundly valuable artifact is the 1993 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2-pence coin, a coin that, despite its humble denomination, has ascended to legendary status and captured the imaginations of numismatists around the globe. It begins, as so many great stories do, with a quiet moment in time. The year was 1993. Queen Elizabeth II, in the 41st year of her reign, continued to embody stability and continuity for the United Kingdom. The world was shifting, technologies were advancing, political landscapes evolving, but the Royal Mint in the UK, steeped in tradition, continued its solemn duty, the creation of coinage bearing the monarch's portrait. On the surface, there was nothing unusual about the minting of a simple 2-pence piece in 1993. It was business as usual, and yet, hidden within that year's production run lay a mystery that would take decades to unravel. To understand the significance of the 1993 2-pence coin, one must delve deeper into the history of decimalisation in Britain. In 1971, the UK transitioned to decimal currency, retiring the old system of shillings and pence in favour of a more streamlined format. The new coins introduced were fresh symbols of a modernising nation, and the 2-pence piece was a key part of that transition. Early versions of the coin, from 1971 to 1981, bore the inscription, "New Pence," reflecting their novelty to the public. But in 1982, this changed to simply 2 pence, marking a shift from novelty to normalcy. From that point forward, the standard inscription for the coin remained 2 pence, and it was under this banner that the 1993 coin was issued. Designed by Christopher Ironside, the reverse of the coin featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon below bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. It was a design steeped in centuries of royal symbolism, simple yet elegant, and representative of the United Kingdom's enduring monarchy. On the obverse, the familiar effigy of Queen Elizabeth II was engraved by Raphael Maklauf, her image facing right, crowned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a depiction used from 1985 to 1997. This portrait conveyed dignity, serenity, and the quiet strength for which Elizabeth II had come to be admired. Everything about the coin, its composition, copper-plated steel following the 1992 shift from bronze, its diameter of 25.9 millimeters, its weight of 7.12 grams, seemed standard. And yet, this ordinary appearance masked something extraordinary. For reasons still unclear, the Royal Mint produced an unusually limited number of 1,993 2-pence coins intended for general circulation. In fact, no such coins were officially issued into daily use. Instead, these coins were produced primarily for collectors and mint sets. That decision would prove to be the genesis of the coin's eventual rarity. Most people, even seasoned collectors, were unaware of just how few 1993 2-pence coins were in existence. They were not coins that would pass through hands in a corner shop or be given as change in a pub. Instead, they sat silently in velvet-lined cases, unnoticed by the wider public. Over time, this scarcity gave rise to murmurs in the numismatic community. Whispers of a nearly unattainable coin, part of the ordinary decimal series but somehow beyond reach. Unlike mint errors or historic coins centuries old, the 1993 2-pence was neither ancient nor misstruck. Its value lay in something far more elusive, intentional obscurity. A coin meant to be invisible, yet destined to become legendary. Collectors began scouring auctions, contacting dealers, and studying Royal Mint issue logs with forensic precision. Slowly, it became clear that the 1993 2-pence had not been released for general circulation at all. The only confirmed specimens originated from year sets issued in extremely limited numbers. And then, the myths began. Some spoke of a handful of these coins escaping their intended packaging, finding their way into the world like escaped royalty in disguise. A tale emerged of a man who discovered one in the back of a kitchen drawer, tucked between outdated bus tickets and forgotten buttons. Another was said to have surfaced at a boot sale, bought for pennies and later appraised at thousands. These stories only intensified the demand. Collectors who once ignored decimal coins began to realize that modern coins too could possess enormous value, not merely in metal, but in rarity and legend. Numismatics, after all, is not solely about age or gold content. It's about the stories coins tell, the accidents of history, and the mistakes or decisions that turn one coin into a priceless artifact. As the decades passed, confirmed sightings of the 1993 2-pence remained astonishingly rare. Only a handful of known specimens ever appeared in the public eye. The Royal Mint itself, while transparent about most of its issues, offered little commentary on why the 1993 coin had such a restricted run. Some speculated that it was due to surplus coins from previous years, or perhaps a printing schedule interrupted by the changing of materials or demand forecasts. Whatever the cause, the effect was now undeniable. The 1993 Elizabeth II 2-pence had become a crown jewel in the world of modern British coin collecting. Auction houses began to take notice. Coins that once fetched £50 or £100 in the early 2000s were suddenly climbing into the thousands. By 2015, confirmed examples in pristine condition, especially those graded by top certification services, were commanding prices upwards of £20,000. Collectors in the United States and Europe began to join the frenzy, recognizing the investment potential in a coin that was quietly outpacing many older, more traditionally rare, coins in value appreciation. But what pushed this already rare coin into the stratosphere of value wasn't just supply and demand. It was the perfect storm of factors: a modern monarch whose reign had defined an era, a coin largely hidden from public use, the allure of a decimal coin defying expectations, and a global community of collectors more connected than ever before. Add to this the rise of digital auctions, social media numismatics, and YouTube channels like HD Ultra Rare Coins highlighting these incredible finds, and suddenly the 1993 Two Pence wasn't just a collector's item. It was a sensation. In the world of modern coin investing, such stories are gold. And it's not just about monetary value, it's about the thrill of discovery, the joy of holding a piece of history in your hand, of knowing that you've uncovered something few others have even seen. The 1993 Two Pence carries that magic. It's not flashy. It doesn't sparkle with precious metals. But its power lies in its silence, in its anonymity, in the way it hides in plain sight. Imagine, for a moment, stumbling upon such a coin at the bottom of an old coin jar. You flip it over, check the date, and there it is, 1993. The pulse quickens. Your hands tremble. Could it be? Is this the one? The value of such a discovery is incalculable, not just in dollars or pounds, but in the joy of the hunt, the excitement of a lifetime. And yet, the story doesn't end there. Because recently, something extraordinary happened. In a high-stakes private auction, one of the finest known examples of the 1993 Elizabeth II Two Pence coin, graded as near flawless by international standards, was sold, not for £10,000, not for £50,000, not even for £1 million. It was sold for a staggering $37 million. Yes, you heard that right. $37 million for a coin originally worth just 2 pence. This jaw-dropping valuation shattered expectations and sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Experts scrambled to analyze the sale. Was it a billionaire collector completing a rare decimal set? A museum curating a permanent British coinage exhibit? Or perhaps a wealthy investor who saw the coin not just as history, but as an asset, a trophy of quiet prestige? Whatever the reason, the message was clear: the world of coin collecting has changed. Rarity now wears many faces. The most valuable coins are not always the oldest or the most gilded. Sometimes, they are the quiet ones, the overlooked ones, the coins that went unnoticed for decades, until someone, somewhere, realized their true worth. And so, the 1993 Elizabeth II Two Pence coin joins the pantheon of legends. From silent minting tables in the Royal Mint to the bright lights of multi-million-dollar auctions, it has traveled far without ever leaving the UK. Its value, once invisible, now dazzles like the diamonds of a royal crown. Top 3. United Kingdom Elizabeth II Two Pence 2001 would one day become the center of collectors' dreams, commanding a value so staggering that it would be spoken of in hushed tones. $23 million. To the average person, the 2001 Two Pence coin looked like any other piece of loose change rattling at the bottom of a pocket. Small, circular, and unassuming. But in the world of numismatics, the passionate domain of coin collectors, appearances are rarely what they seem. Every coin tells a story. Every scratch, every groove, every glint of metal holds within it echoes of a country's past, whispers of power, of economy, of art, of national identity. And this particular coin? It was something far more special than anyone had anticipated. Let us begin at its surface, at the very image that greets the eyes. On the obverse side of the coin, the reigning monarch's portrait stands regal and composed, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. The version of her portrait used on the 2001 coin was the fourth definitive effigy, designed by sculptor Ian Rank Broadley. It had been introduced just a few years prior, in 1998, and remained in use until 2015. This effigy was markedly different from its predecessors. It was more realistic, more honest, reflecting the Queen's maturity rather than idealizing youth. It showed Her Majesty wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a piece passed down from Queen Mary. The initials, IRB, are subtly engraved just below the neckline, an enduring tribute to Rank Broadley's masterwork. Turning to the reverse, one finds the badge of the Prince of Wales, a coronet of feathers encircled by a ribbon bearing the motto, Ich diene, which is German for I serve. This design dates all the way back to 1971, when decimalization officially transformed Britain's currency system. The reverse design was created by Christopher Ironside, a designer whose legacy in British coinage is immense. Above the emblem is simply written, 2 pence, and the year of mintage, 2001. It's a simple design, yet elegant and timeless, capturing the essence of British nobility, history, and duty. Now, a question naturally arises. If millions of these coins were minted in 2001, and indeed, over 500 million 2-pence coins had been produced in earlier years, why should this one matter? What makes this particular year's edition stand apart? The answer, as often is the case in the world of rare coins, lies in the smallest of details. For one, 2001 was a transitional period for coin production. The Royal Mint had begun producing 2-pence coins using copper-plated steel instead of bronze back in 1992, due to rising copper prices. While the change was largely seamless, some transitional errors and anomalies inevitably crept into circulation. What makes the 2001 version unique is the rare possibility of planchet-era coins, those mistakenly struck on the old bronze blanks rather than the newer steel ones. These anomalies are exceptionally hard to come by, but when they surface, they generate considerable excitement among collectors. They are not just minting errors, they are rare genetic mutations of the coin world, prized for their uniqueness and mystery. But the story doesn't stop there. Some 2001 2-pence coins were struck with astonishing die alignment issues. Imagine a coin where the reverse side is rotated 180 degrees from the obverse, or where the strike is slightly off-center, exposing crescent-shaped edges. These rare defects are considered minting miracles, not because they were planned, but precisely because they weren't. They offer a glimpse into the imperfections of an otherwise precise and mechanized minting system, and collectors are deeply drawn to such unpredictable beauty. The material composition of the coin also contributes to its identity. A standard 2001 2-pence coin measures 25.9 millimeters in diameter, weighs 7.12 grams, and is composed of copper-plated steel. It gives off a subtle magnetic attraction, a trait that allows one to distinguish the modern steel coins from earlier bronze ones using nothing more than a magnet. This very trait has helped collectors separate the extraordinary from the ordinary. The rare few 2001 coins that do not respond to magnets have led to frenzied speculation. Are these remnants of earlier bronze stock? Were they special proofs? Or perhaps secret trial strikes never meant for circulation? The mystery continues to deepen the legend. In the early 2000s, coin collecting had not yet reached the feverish online-driven heights it would in later years. Auctions were conducted in quiet halls, in dimly lit rooms where dealers murmured in coded language and private bids were scribbled discreetly. It was in such an environment that the first 2001 2-pence anomalies were noticed. A well-worn bronze-feeling coin, acquired from a random coin jar, was tested and found to be non-magnetic. It sold at a small auction in Kent for just £120. Years passed, and similar specimens surfaced, each slightly different, some with mint luster, others toned from AGE.BY 2015. Social media and online marketplaces transformed the way rare coins were evaluated and traded. Listings for rare 2001 2p coin began appearing with increasing frequency. Some were hoaxes, others were misidentified, but a few were authentic. Then, a breakthrough. A pristine, proof-quality 2001 2-pence coin, struck on a bronze planchet with full luster, impeccable alignment, and zero signs of circulation, was submitted to an international grading authority. It came back with an MS-70 grade, a perfect specimen. Numismatists were stunned. Its origin was murky, its production undocumented, yet its beauty and rarity were undeniable. The coin's first major public appearance came in 2019 when it was put up for auction at a prestigious house in London. The room was packed. Phones buzzed with anticipation. Online bids poured in from collectors in Dubai, Hong Kong, and New York. The hammer finally fell at a price of £6.2 million. And with that, the legend of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 2001 was cemented. Since then, the value of the coin has only skyrocketed. There are believed to be fewer than 10 surviving examples in uncirculated or proof condition that exhibit the rare bronze planchet, or era characteristics. They are held tightly by private collectors, rarely traded, and often insured for millions. The intrigue surrounding these coins only deepens their value. Collectors find in this coin not just rarity, but a connection to the past. A moment in time when Britain was in transition, politically, technologically, and monetarily. The coin carries with it echoes of Queen Elizabeth II's steadfast reign, of minting evolutions, of old metals giving way to new economies. It is a bridge between ages, a relic of precision and anomaly. The world of coin collecting is not just about money. It's about preservation. It's about rescuing forgotten artifacts from obscurity and elevating them to the pedestal of history. It's about storytelling. And in that sense, the 2001 2 pence coin has become a legendary chapter in the annals of British numismatics. Today, if you were to stumble across a 2001 2 pence coin in a drawer, you might think little of it. But if that coin happens to show unusual luster, unusual weight, or no magnetic response at all, hold on tight. You might just be cradling a masterpiece. Check for details. Observe the edge, the weight, the sound it makes when dropped, even its coloration. What might seem ordinary could in fact be one of the most elusive coins in the United Kingdom's minting history. And now we come to the jaw-dropping finale, the point that brings collectors, dealers, and investors alike to the edge of their seats. The highest verified sale of a United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence 2001, struck in bronze, flawlessly preserved, with a rare minting error and provenance traced to a secretive collection in Surrey, was recently closed in a private sale. The price? A staggering $23 million. That's right. From a humble 2 pence piece to a global numismatic treasure, this coin defied all expectations and rewrote the very idea of what pocket change could be worth. It's no longer just currency, it's a piece of history, a symbol of rarity, and a crown jewel of the coin collecting world. ATHD ultra rare coins. We believe that every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth millions. So next time you see a coin that looks too ordinary to matter, take a closer look. You might just be holding history in your hands. Top 4. Today, we unravel the tale of such a coin, the United Kingdom's Elizabeth II 2 pence from the year 2003. A coin born in an era that seems recent, yet its value has soared to heights that rival ancient artifacts and royal treasures. Our story begins in the early 2000s. It was a time of subtle transformation in the British monarchy and its symbols. Queen Elizabeth II, already decades into her reign, stood as a pillar of continuity in a changing world. Technology was reshaping communication. The internet was exploding in popularity. Yet, amidst all this, the traditions of the royal mint and the British currency remained deeply rooted, carefully balancing innovation with legacy. The 2003 2 pence coin was one such creation. It was never intended to be special, not on the surface. Millions of them were minted, mostly unnoticed by the public. Children clutched them to buy sweets. Commuters dropped them into vending machines. To most people, it was simply a bronze-plated steel disc, 25.9 millimeters in diameter, weighing 7.12 grams. Nothing remarkable, or so it seemed, but to the trained eye of a numismatist, something about this particular coin from 2003 stands out, quietly whispering tales of rarity, of minting anomalies, of unexpected treasures. To understand what makes this coin so captivating, we must first look at its design, a feature rich with symbolism and national pride. The obverse, as with most modern British coins, bears the effigy of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley, this portrait was introduced in 1998 and continued through the early 2000s. Unlike the earlier, more youthful depictions of the Queen, Rank Broadley's design presented her with an unflinching realism, mature, wise, and regal. She wore the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a gift from her grandmother, Queen Mary, and a piece that had become almost synonymous with her official image. This side of the coin bore not just the likeness of the monarch, but the assurance of a nation's stability and grace under her reign. Then we turn to the reverse, where the magic of the 2p coin truly lies. Designed by Christopher Ironside in the early 1970s, the reverse featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a coronet above a plume of 3 ostrich feathers. Beneath this regal emblem, a ribbon bore the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This choice of motif wasn't random. It was steeped in royal heraldry, echoing centuries of British history and the legacy of the Prince of Wales title. For decades, this design remained unchanged. It had become iconic, a familiar fixture in British coinage. However, 2008 was to bring a major shift, a redesign of all UK coins into a unified shield pattern. This meant that the 2003 issue was among the final chapters in the reign of the original Ironside reverse, unknowingly positioning itself as a soon-to-be rare specimen. But what elevates the 2003 Two Pence to the realm of elite collectability? Not every 2003 coin is rare, certainly. But like any great legend, this one hinges on a few crucial details. In numismatics, rarity is often born from error, low mintage, or both. And this particular year, a few 2p coins escaped the mint-bearing anomalies, either from unintentional die usage, alignment errors, or transitional planchets not meant for public circulation. For instance, some collectors have uncovered 2003 2 pence coins struck on bronze blanks instead of the newer steel-based planchets. The United Kingdom transitioned to copper-plated steel in 1992 to cut costs, but occasionally, older bronze blanks remained in the production machinery. These few rogue coins, indistinguishable to the untrained eye, now command immense interest for their rarity and historical significance. Even more elusive are the coins with subtle misalignments in the strike, or with doubled inscriptions around the Queen's effigy. Some feature ghosting, a light impression of the reverse visible through the obverse due to high pressure during striking. Each of these irregularities contributes to a hierarchy of value. While a regular 2003 2 pence might fetch only face value, those with confirmed errors? They fetch fortunes. The Royal Mint, to this day, has never officially disclosed the exact number of such error coins from 2003, adding another layer of mystery and allure. It's the numismatic equivalent of buried treasure, known to exist, but never fully accounted for. Collectors across the globe, from London to Tokyo, New York to Johannesburg, have scoured their collections, searching coin jars and old wallets, in hopes of finding this elusive marvel. Forums buzz with speculation. Auction houses prepare for bidding wars. When a verified 2003 2 pence error coin does appear, it's nothing short of a numismatic earthquake. And indeed, in recent years, one such coin shocked the coin collecting world. A pristine 2003 2 pence, verified by leading numismatic authorities, struck on a rare transitional blank with a misalignment error, was offered at a private auction. Its estimated value before bidding was already remarkable, in the hundreds of thousands. But what followed stunned even the most seasoned experts. The final hammer price. A jaw-dropping $20 million. Let that sink in. A coin once worth just 2 British pennies, about 3 US cents, appreciated to a value more fitting of a Picasso painting or a rare diamond. The buyer, whose identity remains anonymous, was rumored to be a Middle Eastern royal with a passion for British numismatics. The coin now resides in a private vault, its exact location unknown, viewed only occasionally by its fortunate owner and a handful of trusted appraisers. So how does something so small become so priceless? It's a combination of history, rarity, and timing. The 2003 2 pence sits at the crossroads of several key events: the final years of the Ironside reverse, the tail end of a stable monarchic era, and the last batch of traditionally minted 2p coins before the Royal Mint's design overhaul. Its error variants were not mass-produced, and their discovery only occurred many years later, meaning that many were likely lost, spent, or melted down without ever being recognized. Beyond the metal and design, though, lies something more profound. Coins like the 2003 Two Pence tell stories of craftsmanship, of oversight, of change. They remind us that value is not always apparent. That sometimes, the most extraordinary treasures live quiet lives, hidden in plain sight. Imagine walking through a car boot sale or a dusty corner shop and finding one such coin. To the vendor, it's loose change. But to someone who knows, it could be the find of a lifetime. It's the thrill of the hunt that drives collectors. The sense that, somewhere out there, in a forgotten drawer or an old piggy bank, another treasure might be waiting to be discovered. On the popular YouTube channel HD Ultra Rare Coins, stories like these captivate audiences. They blur the lines between history and legend, between currency and art. Each episode invites viewers to look closer at the mundane, to ask questions about the things we handle every day but rarely examine. And now, you're part of that story too. Maybe you're already checking your coin jars, or searching online marketplaces, hoping to catch a glimpse of that perfect 2003 Two Pence. Maybe you'll be the one to find the next $20 million specimen. Because it's out there. Or so the legends say. One thing is certain, in the world of rare coins, even the smallest piece of metal can hold unimaginable worth. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence from 2003 is proof of that. Once a modest coin in the pockets of ordinary people, it now stands among the most prized possessions in the numismatic world. So next time you hold a coin, even one as seemingly unremarkable as a 2 pence, pause for a moment. Look closely. History might just be resting in the palm of your hand. And who knows? That tiny disc could be your golden ticket to a fortune, perhaps even a $20 million one. Stay curious, stay searching, and never underestimate the power of the penny. Because, as the 2003 2 pence coin has proven, sometimes the smallest treasures hold the biggest surprises.